Hey, before we get into this topic today, give me just a few extra seconds to talk about something very important. There is a fundraiser on this video for the National Abortion Federation that I'm asking you to donate to if you can. The National Abortion Federation not only supports abortion providers, they also run the National Abortion Hotline, which is a hotline people can call if they need factual information about how to obtain an abortion in their state, or if they live in one of these states with an abortion ban, how they can get an abortion in the nearest state where it's legal. Your donation could help them cover the cost of the procedure for somebody desperately needing it, as well as the costs associated with transportation out of state if that's necessary. If you are not in a financial position to give to this fundraiser, do not feel pressure to do so. You can simply share this video with a friend, share information about the National Abortion Federation or other abortion funds, and try to make sure more people know about organizations doing this critical work. If you can donate, though, I would encourage you to do so while we are running this fundraiser and trying to generate as much support as possible for this very worthy cause as we can. Thank you. So Donald Trump, apparently there was another assassination attempt. No shots were fired. This time, not even shots were fired at Donald Trump. He was just a guy with a gun, certainly a threat, but on the golf course, gonna shoot at Donald Trump. But Secret Service did their job. And now there's wild conspiracy theories out there. Just like you would expect, people like me are being blamed for this. Not the gunman, not the madman who was anticipating Trump's arrival at that hole and wanted to do him harm. No, not him. Not the unhinged gunman. No, it's people like me. People who tell the truth about Donald Trump. People who call into question the methods and the motives of Donald Trump, of why exactly he wants to end democracy in the United States. Why did he stage an insurrection against the country, an attempted overthrow of the United States government, and the method by which they would do that is overturning a free and fair settled American election. The thing we all witnessed. So he started yesterday with this little ditty, has nothing to do with the assassination attempt, but he says, "I hate Taylor Swift." Like a good and decent leader of these United States, a man who wants to be president of the United States once again saying that there's one citizen above all others that he hates the most. Taylor Swift. You know, if Joe Biden was to say, "I hate Donald Trump," or if Kamala Harris was to say, "I hate Donald Trump," Republicans would lose their ever-loving minds. How dare they say that they hate another American citizen? But Donald Trump can tweet it in all caps, like a demented grandpa, "I hate Taylor Swift," an American citizen who's just a pop singer, because she's announced she's going to vote for Kamala Harris. Weird. Unrelated to the assassination attempt. Elon Musk, though, he jumped in and he said this, "And no one is even trying to assassinate Biden and Kamala," says Elon Musk, in response to why do they want to kill Donald Trump. He deleted that tweet, of course. They should be knocking down his door to interview him, the Secret Service, the FBI, federal authorities, of what exactly this man with this massive platform of an unhinged cult-like following surrounding him, what did he mean by this? What was he intending for this? What outcome? A man who gets billions, tens if not hundreds of billions of dollars in government contracts is now advocating for the assassination of the sitting United States president. Yet they cry crocodile tears. How dare they? Why are they not as upset as us about Donald Trump and the threats against him? A man who advocates for, incites, promotes, encourages violence in our politics. Greg Steube from Florida, Republican, went on Fox News this morning cosplaying as a Confederate Civil War general, apparently. And he is putting 100% of the blame on Democrats, on people like me for just calling it like it is and speaking truth to power and talking about what the facts are on the ground relative to Donald Trump's behavior and his objectives for the country, up to and including ending democracy. Watch this guy really trying to sell it.
Do you blame, Congressman, the constant drumbeat from the left that Trump is a threat to democracy for yesterday's attempt and yet another attempt on his life?
100%. After January 6th, Nancy Pelosi called all of us Republican members of Congress domestic terrorists. Those words are impactful to people that are looking to do harm to people. So we've been called domestic terrorists. They're repeated calls that Trump is a threat to democracy, which is actually the left. I mean, Kamala Harris hasn't had a single person vote for her for president, and she's the nominee. I mean, if there's not a more threat to democracy, it's that she was picked behind closed doors in a Democratic convention, and then she's the person that they put out with not a single person voting for her.
First of all, it wasn't behind closed doors, brother. I was at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. It was in a room with a few people. Here's a couple pictures there, guy. Secondly, it wasn't an attempt on his life. Donald Trump was far from harm. Donald Trump was not shot at. There wasn't an attempt on his life. Let's get it straight. And thirdly, he says 100% Democrats are responsible. The first guy that actually took a shot at Trump was a Trump supporter, was a registered Republican. This guy voted for Donald Trump in 2016. Now, it seems to be some, look, not a psychologist, not a psychiatrist. I'm not in a position to diagnose, but it seems to me a little bit warped, his worldview, who he's supported in the past, the things that he tweets about, he's claiming to be in support of getting troops in Ukraine to help in the war effort there. He's been denounced months ago by several accounts like, hey, this guy has nothing to do with us. We don't know him. He seems like a dangerous character. He's not that. But Republicans, they need to say that. Another Florida Congresswoman, Laurel Lee, had this to say, and she's really advocating for, hey, stop talking about the danger that is Donald Trump. Stop pointing out all of the unhinged shit that Donald Trump does on a daily basis. Stop talking about how he has committed to terminating the Constitution, to being a dictator on day one, to ending democracy in the United States. Stop talking about that. That's the problem, not that he's actually doing those things.
That is just the rhetoric. And, you know, people are at each other's throats. Do you see that as a contributing factor in Butler, which you've already looked at?
Absolutely. The rhetoric is every day, all day. And as it's directed against President Trump, it's saying that he's a threat to democracy, that he's going to destroy America. It's absolutely absurd, and it is irresponsible. And Democrats and people who are speaking in these terms about President Trump need to take responsibility and really think about the consequence of using that kind of language. Right. Because here we are again. And so in the days immediately after Butler, we heard people accept that needed to stop, but it didn't last. And that today is a day that needs to be taken seriously.
It lasted about a day and a half.
Is it absurd, Laurel Lee? Is it absurd that Donald Trump attempted to destroy democracy in the United States? The facts are these, that Donald Trump tried to remain in office even after having lost the election by 7+ million votes in the popular vote. Donald Trump attempted to stay in office despite having lost the Electoral College vote. Donald Trump attempted to set up a fake slate of electors. He sent a violent mob to the United States Capitol to infiltrate the Capitol, to either pressure through force or just the influence of the terrorism that they were putting upon the Capitol, to have the count stopped so that the fake slate of electors could then be sent and then be put through by the House. These are facts. That's an attempt to end democracy in the United States. If you want to stay in office extra democratically, extra constitutionally, you tried to end democracy. You don't suspend it for a second so it can get back, so you can get back into office and then say, "Oh no, I didn't end democracy. I just postponed it for a second. I just suspended it." It's ending democracy. To not say that would be disloyal to the country. To not point out the dangers of Donald Trump isn't endangering his life. It's telling the truth. And you would rather that be squelched. Look, again, also not an attempted assassination. There was no shot taken at Donald Trump. He never saw the gunman. He wasn't near the gunman. Nonsense. Lies. Attempt to valorize or heroify Donald Trump. Coward. Not courageous. Not brave. Physical weakling. Gross. Anyway, what do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. You can leave a comment below. You can email me daily at dollemore.com. I would love to hear from you. You can follow me on social media. I am at Dollemore everywhere. I'd love to see you there. You can be a channel member. Go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast and help support this work. But if you have an extra $5, today would be the day to donate to the fundraiser for the National Abortion Federation. If we're able to marshal the size of our audience and every person was to give $2 or $3 or $4 or $5 or more, we could raise $50,000. We're only gunning for $20,000 this year. You helped us raise $15,000 last year. It's an important cause, and please consider giving to it. There's a fundraiser donate button around this video. I would appreciate it very much. I love and appreciate you. Be genuine. Take care of one another.